What is up then, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're getting back to the turbo build of the ST150. Currently got a box which I was quite tempted to open in the last video, but I thought I'd save it for today. It's from Exo Racing, and hopefully it's got all of the parts in that we should need for the rest of the plumbing for the turbo. Also very nice packaging. Exo Racing sponsor me, thank you very much. But yeah, we're going to be doing that. Also show you the engine. So if you haven't seen it so far, we've done our alternator relocation, so we've got all of this space here for the V-band, so all of that all moved to the front. We've also, what else have we done? I think, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was going on, I had a massive list then, but it was just that. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be getting the plumbing in for the turbo. Well, when I say plumbing, I mean just the oil. We're not doing coolant just yet. I am indecisive. People are saying do it, some people are saying you don't need to do it. Kind of try and weigh it up. But if any of you guys know like the exact location to plumb in the coolant lines, message me, because if it's something like, yeah, might as well do it, then I will do it. But yeah, anyway, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using a new drive shaft mount, because we're not going to be using the ST150 gearbox. We've got our gearbox all wrapped up there, so we're going to be doing a bit of problem solving, because obviously with the new gearbox mount there for the drive shaft, we're going to have to try and relocate our oil drain to go around that, which we'll get to in a minute. Also got the plumbing to go from the oil feed all the way into there. So yeah, should be quite simple. You guys probably already know how to do this, but I'm just kind of like, I just want to do it now. Just hopefully clear some of these parts away, because it is starting to build up. Like you probably can't tell, but these boxes full of parts, that's full of parts, that's full of parts, that's full of parts. Some of the ones that are originally off the engine, but some of the ones are obviously to go on there now. So yeah, enough talking. I'm going to put you guys down with a beautiful view and let's get this done. Let's go. Right then, so firstly here we have our drive shaft mount. This is from a 2005 to 2010 Ford Focus petrol. It's literally similar to one that came off it, but it's just a different model. But I don't know if it's like this is bigger or if it's higher up or lower down, but because of the ST150 that I've got, I'm not going to be using the ST150 gearbox, which is the RB5 Plus. We need to have this in to hold the new drive shafts, which are compatible with the new gearbox. Okay, then so here are all of our goodies. So we've got a 45-degree 10 AN fitting, we've got a 90-degree AN fitting. This isn't for this, I've just got this for a next project which I plan on doing. I've got two AN10 weld-on bungs. This isn't for this either, this is for something else. We've got another 45. We've got some braided hose, which is going to be for our oil feed. We've got a mixture of fittings there. I don't think they're restrictors, but is that a restrictor? Yeah, we've got one restrictor in there, a couple of copper washers, a couple of brass fittings, but that's just so that we can get it from the front all the way to the end. And hopefully we've got some 90 degrees in there, which might help with the funky angles. We've got our gasket in there. No, not gasket. We've got a gasket in there, but that's our oil feed that goes on top of the turbo. And then we've got our oil drain, which is another 10 AN, and that goes on the bottom of the turbo. I accidentally brought a second one of these. Yeah, don't really need it, but I've got extra parts there just in case. And then we've got our sandwich plate, which goes onto the sump, and that's another 10A fitting on there. Basically, you just drill a hole into the bottom of the sump. It's got it's like we call it like a bit of a sandwich plate, but it's got a gasket in there. You'd probably use some liquid sealant as well, but that's just the simpler way, instead of actually welding this onto the sump. If you can't weld, I can't weld aluminium, so yeah. And here we've got our T-piece. So what this is going to allow us to do, this is going to be able to put the sensor in for the front of the engine just above the oil filter, and then we can run the sensor off the side. This can go straight into, what do you call it, it's not a thermostat housing, the one that's right in the front, the one that's on top of the oil filter. But yeah, that can go into that. And then we've got the fitting for this hose to go in, so we can run it all the way around the back. But yeah, that was probably a lot of information and quite a lot of parts just to talk about in one point. Oh, forgot one thing, got a bit of heat shield there, because obviously running pipes, well, they are braided, so they are metal, so just hopefully try and keep the temperatures low of the oil. But yeah, I think that's probably enough technical talk. Well, not even technical talk, just a lot of waffle, because it is a lot of parts to try and get through in such a short period of time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the engine, turn the lights on so you can see. I'm going to drain the oil into this pan here, and then we are going to put the drive shaft mount on, and then we'll just go from there. So yeah, let's get it. Alright then guys, so as you can see, got the drive shaft mount on and our oil's currently still draining. But one thing, well, the main reason I wanted to get this on first was because once the drive shaft's in, it's going to be spinning around here. Obviously not all the way, but around here. And we need to try and incorporate the plumbing into this so it doesn't interfere with it. So obviously we're going to want the oil drain to come from a higher point in the sump. So we're probably thinking about up here, but it's going to need to come out and around and then up into the turbo. So obviously it's not interfering when the drive shaft's in there, obviously when it's spinning around, because it's obviously not really what you want. But yeah, I'm going to do that last, I think. Firstly, I'm going to go and put all the plumbing in for the front of the turbo for the oil feed, which is literally just this and this. So yeah, let's do it. So as you could probably tell by this happy face, everything was going a bit too well. Everything was like going together. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good video. I'm not going to have to do everything over and over again. But I didn't do my measurements properly. So as you can see, this one is a little bit too thin. So if I just come around and show you. So if I take this, that's meant to go into there and screw in. But as you can see, yeah. It's not going to plan, and I haven't got an adapter for that. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go and order a new one of these to the correct size. Hopefully, if I find the right size, I'll put it down in the description so you guys don't make my mistake. But yeah, you live and you learn. So we can do the oil feed, but it's just going to be feed on the turbo's end. It's not going to be to this side. But if you just want to see how it goes, it's literally what this would do is this would go in there. You'd have your sensor that goes into the standard position there, and then you'd have a line that goes from there all the way around here over the gearbox and up into the top of the turbo where that copper wash is there. It was going so well, but you know, it can't be perfect. And I think I literally paid about £7-8 for that, and I think I got a discount code as well. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, but it's kind of pushed the progress back a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is, it's going to be easy for me to take the whole turbo manifold off and then do the plumbing like that rather than doing it on the engine, because knowing my luck, and it's obviously not a very good look at the moment, I'll end up just dropping all of my bolts into that. So yeah, just going to take this off and work through it on the desk. So yeah, alright then guys, so I did a bit of playing around just before I got it on video, and unfortunately with the compressor housing on, I'm not able to get this on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the compressor housing off, which I didn't want to do, but I feel kind of comfortable knowing that I can do it now, and then that should make this a little bit easier to spin this and get this on. I'm sorry, did I just say that I'm getting used to that, or that it's getting easier? I was chatting out my backside. This one clip here is possibly one of the hardest things I've ever had to put my life through ever. Like, why did someone make something like that so hard? But yeah, it's off. Thank I was gonna swear then, but yeah, that's off now. So what I can do now is I've got all of that space now, so I can thread everything in without having to hit that or having to hit that. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna put you guys down and hopefully get this top part sorted, because this video wasn't meant to go on for that long, but you know, trial and error. But yeah, hopefully my mistakes or things I have to do to try and get through these situations will hopefully make you guys like a bit more prepared for when you have to do it yourself instead of paying someone else to do it. But yeah, let's do it. Also, turbines like this, I've just gone and put the oil feed back on, or the oil drain back on. I've used this bit of joining compound because after what I've just been through, don't really want it to do it again, so I've just put a bit on there as well. Just gonna put that in there. Okay, got a 15mm spanner. Just use the 15mm on there. I'm not gonna use the ugger dugger. Okay, that's tight enough. And I'm gonna use a little bit of that joining compound on this fitting as well. Just make sure it's the right part. Yeah. Just a dribble. And then just screw that in as well. Alright, so there we go. That's all together now, nice and tight. If you want to do your own research into compounds that you want to use for joining materials, I only use this because it is literally a PTFE tape in a liquid form, which I wanted to use anyway, and that's been recommended to me by my mate who's a mechanic. So Now that that's all done, I can go together, make sure the turbo's clocked into the right position, and that should be ready to go back onto the car, onto the engine, sorry. Let's go. All right then guys, so it's about 3 hours later now, time to get back on with this. My barber decided to come, and yeah, this is before coronavirus happened, which I'm not too sure what year that is, but yeah. Anyway, back to this, time to go in with the oil feed. As you can see, we're looking all beautiful there. Got this pointing, they got this nozzle pointing this way, got that going straight down. What I'm going to do now is you just get this, screw it on. Obviously you're going to want to use some Teflon tape or something to stop leaks, but yeah, run that round. And if I had that thing going into the bottom there, it would screw into that, but as soon as I don't, I've just left it there. But this is quite cool because it's quite malleable, so you can bend it a little bit, so it doesn't have to be, I don't want to kink it, but yeah, you can bend it a little bit so it's not like all stiff and like poking all the way into your firewall, but hopefully you guys get what I mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit more of that PTFE paste on there, and then we'll carry on with the oil drainer, which is the part that I really want to do. So yeah, let's do it. Alright, and so now that we've got the oil feed going, we're going to need a place for the oil to drain, and I'm quite thinking maybe about there, so that it's not in line with this here. But obviously not low enough so that it's all the way down here. So I'm thinking probably mark it up for about there. And I don't know if this is an option for most of you guys, but I'm actually going to be removing the sump from the engine completely now, because I'm thinking about getting a sump baffle, but I just want to take it off whilst it's there just to make sure it all looks good and everything like that. But I'm going to mark, put a hole there, or put a dot there, see what it's like, and then I'm going to take the sump off. And then that's when I'm actually going to start drilling the hole in. Plus it'll give you guys a better angle of what it's actually going to look like all together. But yeah, we're getting there guys. It has been like a really long day, which it probably doesn't seem like it for you guys, but a lot of things have been happening behind the scenes. But yeah, it's going good. Alright, so I've never done this before, but all across the bottom, all I can see is 10 mils. So I've got my 10mm on my mini Ugga Dugga, and I'm going to go around and just take them all off. Right, so if that's everything, this should be just one more screw, but I do think we might take these off, do we? Don't know, let's find out. So, just this one here. Alright then guys, so I may or may not have forgotten to do 2 or 3 bolts, but what I've done is I've gone around the edge with a razor, cleaned everything up a little bit, and then I've kind of gently tapped a small screwdriver into here just to get a bit of leverage, just to pry it. And since I've got it in there, it's pretty much just cracked, and I feel like it's almost ready to come off. Just a bit more. Just do it on the back. Remember, there's no rush. Lovely, jubbly, and there we go. There is our sump. I've just poured oil everywhere. Well done, Markel. There we go. Got the sump off. There we go. Lovely. The oil in there is quite nice, to be fair. It's not a bad colour, and I can't see any metallic sprinkles in there, so it's always a good sign of previous raping of the car. But as you can see, all under there, it's pretty dark. Also, thing to note is this engine is on a stand. With that stand, I can turn the engine upside down. It's a bit too late now, but yeah, happy days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this up on my desk. Going to get the hole drilled out for the drain return. Look, there we go. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm just going to drill that hole out. Right, so I'm going to start going bigger and bigger. I've got about 4 Christmas tree builds here, and some of them are crap up to one level, and then some of them are good after another level. Which I'm going to start with this one, because I know that this one's definitely good up to the max size there, and then from there I'm just going to have to try and mess around with each of these, because they are a bit crap, which is what you expect for like £5 eBay drill bits. I'm just going to give it a go, nice and slow, no rush, and let's get it done. So we've got our hole there. I did have to go in and Dremel quite a bit away on the inside, because if not the bolt wouldn't have been able to sit flush above here. So I've just done that. For you that don't own a Dremel, you can get this one on eBay, Von Horst. I think I paid about £30 for it. Or if you don't want to spend that, you can get little cardboard bits which you can put in your drill. And I think that's probably like another 10-15 quid, which, you know, they're cardboard, they'll last you for a long time. But anyway, let's get this in there. The hole was still a little bit too small, so what I've done is I've gone in with a spanner and I've kind of like partially thread it. So as you can see, it's screwing in now. But as soon as it gets to the end where it's flat, it would go loose, so it doesn't really make much of a difference if it's threaded. There we go, so we're in. So I'm gonna go in with these two little washers and this bolt here. We're gonna screw it all down, and then we can get on with putting this back on the car, and then we can do the line which will go from the bottom of the turbo to the sump. So yeah, we're making progress, boys. And guys, so another update, what we've done now is we've got the sump back on. I am temporarily holding this on with 2 bolts because this will be coming off again. I think I'm going to be getting 2 AN fins fitted onto the front so I can run that oil cooler off that instead of using the sandwich plate. But anyway, so we've got the fittings there looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run a line off here all the way around here, hopefully not getting in the way of that. This may look like it is, but it's genuinely not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure up some hose which we've got here, which is just a bit of 10 AN. Going to cut it off. This is all measured up and ready. Going to cut it off there, cut it off there. I put electric tape on it so it doesn't barb up. If you've ever seen it, it is a pain in the arse. It's exactly like that stuff there. So I'm going to cut this off with the angle grinder, and then I'll start recording once we are putting the fittings back on. But yeah, it's starting to go to plan now. The ball's rolling and we're making movements. Alright then, so we're back. I was going to do a nice little video for you guys, like this is how I do AN lines. I was going to do it all nice and bespoke. Yeah, I just reminded myself why I hate doing AN fittings. Like these little things here, they hurt a lot, but we've done it. It looks alright, to be fair. Not gonna lie, it looks alright. But yeah, we go. So we've got our fitting going from there all the way down, so it's still kind of going down, but it's not very vertically. Or yeah, that's what I was going for. I wanted it, obviously, it's obviously going to drain better with more of an angle than it is going to be going like horizontally. But yeah, it's kind of what we're working with. Not going to be interfering with the shaft, although we love a bit of shaft interference. But happy days. So that's our AN fitting for the drain. Got our fitting for the feed. I've never said the word feed so many times in one day, but this is going to bend a little bit, or if it doesn't bend, obviously I don't want it to have like so really long. There's a company in, I think it's Wolverhampton, and they do custom lines, so I'll probably just send them a measurements, and if worse comes to worse, then get one of those made. But this should be fine. I just do need to like try and probably put like another 90 on there so it's bridging it up and over the top of the compressor, because that is going to be but it's quite a big gap. So yeah, that's it. To be fair, that's the plumbing done for the turbo. Like I said at the beginning, if you guys know the best place to put the coolant pipes, let me know, because if it is something that's going to be worth doing, then I will do it. But if it is just going to be a bit of bother, then I'll probably be like that, just leave it. But thank you guys for watching. Going to be doing some more car reviews soon, going to be doing more turbo stuff soon. Also got some new car parts coming soon, so my own car parts, not anything else like the ones I've designed and had made. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Probably weren't as informative as I was going for, but it's just extra content in it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.